Let's get it. Let's do And the reason why we had to do a fake can opening is because we had some technical audio difficulties, and I do have Vermont's finest, the Heady Topper.
Don't peel back the curtain.
For all you peasants out there that are drinking Budweiser. All right, so welcome to episode number 93.
Fair.
Of Loaded on Lansdowne Red Sox Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Chikaris, alongside me virtually as always. And Andy, pretty soon, not virtually.
There's an end in sight. I've had my first dose, so
yeah, I got my first dose, so I'm gonna get my second dose 28th, I think.
Mine's like the 24th. So then, hey, we can
make out
kiss,
and stuff.
We can kiss on the mouth.
I'm glad we were on the same page with that.
Yeah, both of us went to kissing real quick.
So episode number 93 of Loaded on Lansdowne is here. Today we're going to talk about the pitching staff, starting rotation. We're going to talk a little bit about Bobby Dalbec and a couple other prospects, because I want to see, Andy, who you think may or may not contribute to the Red Sox this year, because I think they need a lot of contributions from a lot of young players, or else this season is going to be an absolute disaster. I actually think this should be a season where they showcase some of their younger talent, bring them up if they're in contention. If they're
so punt on the seasons kind of.
Yeah, I think they have to do that anyway, but I think they do. But we'll get into that, and then we're going to talk about Cam Newton. We're going to talk a little bit of football, because I want to get your take on the Patriots inexplicably re-signing one Cam Newton.
And the same day Brady gets a contract again too.
Yeah, Brady gets the 2-year, or whatever he was in for this year, but he gets another year extension. Letting go of Tom Brady was the stupidest thing the Patriots ever did. Obviously, we've seen it. He won a Super Bowl. So friggin' dumb.
Hand up. We'll get to it, but hand up. I was wrong too.
Well, let me ask you a question. Now that this whole thing has happened with Tom Brady, right? So he goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks. He leaves the Patriots. Are you one of those guys that now realizes I was more of a Brady fan than a Patriots fan? Because I've always been a Patriots fan, but I am also a Brady fan.
Honestly, I kind of have. For people who know me, I've been screaming for a long time that I'm kind of a fair weather Patriots fan, to be honest. Growing up, I grew up in Western Mass, so my family was kind of in between Giants and Patriots. And the Giants were good for a while when I was a really little kid, so then I lived in upstate New York for a while. So I kind of and moving back, it wasn't until Drew Bledsoe was when people gave a shit at all about the Patriots. I didn't even. It wasn't that I was an anti-Patriot. I kind of didn't know they existed. You know what I mean?
Right.
When I was living in upstate New York, the Super Bowl, that was cool, and we became Patriots fans for a couple months again, because we didn't like Chicago. And as kind of Giants fans, we hated Chicago. You know what I mean? So it worked out well.
Were you
I'm literally wearing a Patriots shirt.
I know, that's the funny part. Were you guys Buffalo Bills people?
No, I'm not a fucking loser. Stop it, dude.
All right, because that's funny, because my dad growing up, my dad was born in 1935, so the Patriots didn't exist till 1960. So he was actually a New York Giants fan, because that was the closest team.
That was kind of the deal. My dad and his dad, definitely. My grandfather were Giants fans, in Western Mass. That was just how it was.
And my dad was too, but I think when it was Parcells,
that's when it began.
Parcells and Drew Bledsoe, I think that's when my dad kind of was like, all right, I'm all in on the Patriots. And I've always been hometown guy. Like I like certain teams here and there. I've liked certain players here and there, but I've always been hometown guy. I've always been Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, Patriots. You know?
Yeah, no, that's true. Definitely. It's even with like Bledsoe, I guess it was definitely the beginning, and they made the Super Bowl that one time. They were pretty good, but definitely Tom Brady took it to another level. I mean,
Right. Okay.
You can't. I would say he had an effect on people like me, the way Bobby Orr had effect on a lot of people in the 70s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they were aware of the Bruins, they liked the Bruins, but when Bobby Orr took over the Bruins, it was like, it was really that whole deal. And I think you would kind of see that with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that was like how it was in '67 with the Red Sox, where that Carl Yastrzemski and all those guys just kind of changed the whole culture.
Well, yeah, but the difference is
what they won.
They were losers. Yeah,
yeah. The Patriots won and the Bruins won with Bobby Orr. Yeah.
Hey, we're the team that almost won.
Yeah. Well, there's two teams. It was the '67 Red Sox and the '75 Red Sox, where it's like Carlton. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Carlton Fisk's home run, right? Like it's like they lost the World Series. They lost the next day or whatever it was, right? All right.
I was listen. Troy O'Leary had a huge home run in Game 2 of the wild card playoff against Cleveland. They still lost in 5. No one's talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. Troy O'Leary, best Irish player Red Sox ever had.
By far.
By far. All right. So we're going to talk about the starting rotation. So, Andy, I've been hearing so much in the press about Garrett Richards, okay? Garrett Richards. Okay, I see it on Nesson, watching MLB Network. Garrett Richards. I have zero faith in Garrett Richards. He is a reclamation project. Okay,
Hold on. What do you mean, dude? There was a season where he had 207 innings pitched.
One season?
Now, granted, it was 2015.
Give me what you got on this guy, because I got some stuff and it's not that great.
He had 200 innings pitched in 2015. It looked like he was going to be a pitcher. Then it was literally 34 innings, 27 innings, 76 innings, which was good. 2019, 8 innings. He was hurt. That was a bad injury.
Yeah. I think he's got like 2 Tommy John surgeries.
But even last year's COVID year, 51 innings. I mean, he's a starter?
He's a starting pitcher.
The innings I just said to you. He's a starter?
And everyone's got a chubby for him, dude. Like everyone's like, yeah, like Garrett Richards. All right, so
because of his spin rate?
Look, $8.5 million this year from the Red Sox. That's his salary.
All your number 3 pitcher shouldn't be $8.5 million.
Dude, I don't even get me started on even saying number 3, because I don't even think he's there.
4,
7. All right, let's cut to the chase. I don't think he's on the team at the All-Star break.
No, he's not. He's not a major league pitcher anymore.
2011 to 2018 with the Los Angeles Angels, he had a 3.54 ERA. He got hurt with the Angels, came back. 2019, 2020, he was with the Padres, 4.65 ERA. This spring, 13.50 ERA. Now look, it's a small sample size. It's only 4 innings pitched. But he has a career 4.46 ERA. And you would think if you I guess this is all about like media bias, right? And I mean, we hear about fake news and media bias and everything else, but media bias goes into sports too, Andy, because they're talking about this guy like this was the most phenomenal pickup that the Red Sox have ever done.
Mark, they are so worried that nobody is going to read a word of what they have to say. They have to try to get people excited about the Boston. Mm-hmm. I almost don't blame them for just taking the juice, because right now no one gives a fuck. So right. they gotta get people excited about something. And this piece of shit, it was what, since spring training has started, his last time he was out, he had 6 strikeouts, looked a little bit better. Before that, all he did was throw balls.
Right.
So they're trying to get something going.
Right. And I mean, let's look at the rest of this.
Yeah, please. I don't even know
worthless crew. All right. So here's the other guy that the media is filleting, Nick Pivetta. 2 games last year with the Red Sox, 1.80 ERA. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's great. Yep. 2 games. Anyone can throw 2 games and have a 1.80 ERA.
Oh, listen, everybody was a rookie at some point, I guess. I mean, it is a thing, but
2017 to 2020, half of 2020, he was with the Phillies, 5.40 ERA, which represents what this guy really is.
it seems higher.
Okay. His projected stats from Baseball Reference for this year is a 4.97 ERA. So now we have 2 guys that are in the mid 4s with ERA. Yes?
At best.
All right. And these are your back of the rotation guys. I get it. All right.
Well, we don't care about ERA anymore, right?
Well, I do. I do old school stats. I don't do this. No, I don't, because I don't understand it. And it's nerd shit, and I don't like it.
You're joining the war on nerds?
I'm cancel culture on baseball nerds. I'm cancel culture on baseball nerds. Yes. All right. Martin Perez, who was your best pitcher last year.
Oh, God.
Your best pitcher.
Yeah.
Right? 4.71 ERA career, projected 4.96 ERA from Baseball Reference. So another guy, it's actually over the mid 4s. So now we're sneaking into the 5s. And I do think he's going to be into the 5s because Martin Perez sucks. He sucks.
He's
a bum. And they re-signed him.
Yeah. Someone's got to stand on the rubber. I mean, it's
right. That's what we're dealing with now. This is the whole point of this exercise that we're doing. This exercise in futility that we're doing right now, Andy, is like someone's going to stand on the rubber. Just like, all right, so let's go into your good pitchers. Nathan Eovaldi, 3.72 ERA in 2020, 9 games. Okay. What do we know about Nathan Eovaldi? So it's 9 games. He pitched great. 9 games. What do we know about him, though?
He's going to maybe do 20 starts.
Right.
25.
He's going to get hurt.
No, I would be at any moment of the season. I would be, if someone calls me about Nathan Eovaldi, I'm listening.
Absolutely.
If he comes out and has 3 or 4 throwing rocket starts, and all of a sudden some team that it's got their starting pitcher hurt is on the phone calling for you.
Yep.
I might even risk fucking up this season to sell high. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Because lest we forget, here, let me break down Nathan Eovaldi's 2018 very quickly for everyone. Came out of the gates. I saw him pitch in person his first 2 starts for the Red Sox. It was at home. Well, his first 2 at-home starts. I don't know. I have to go back and check. But he pitched against the Twins, and he pitched against the Yankees. So he pitched Sunday against the Twins, and then that next Saturday against the Yankees. He was lights out both times. Okay. And then he didn't win a game for like a month. Right. And then they went into the playoffs, and then that's when he, pitched his balls off, and he had that great game against the Dodgers, which they lost. Everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, come on. That was it.
It's the Carlton Fisk of pitching. That was the Carlton Fisk of pitching.
It really was. It
wasn't it? That was the Carlton Fisk of pitching.
Who didn't was it Porcello who cried?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
It made Porcello cry.
I've just never seen a pitching performance that brave. That brave.
That brave.
The brave pitching performance. of Nathan Eovaldi in that extra inning game.
But no, that 3 weeks made him what?
Legend.
$30-something million.
Boston,
Yeah, crazy.
Boston legend.
Crazy. So I would sell high if I could on him. He is absolutely terrifying as far as someone you're going to count on.
Yep.
And okay, so keep going because the next guy has a gigantic heart.
Right. So Erod, we don't know what we're going to get from him. He's got a big old COVID heart, right? We don't know.
We're acting like he hasn't spent tons of time on the injured list too. I mean, granted, the season before was probably his best season.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And he made a lot of starts. And listen, he made a lot of starts that season before. He 8 innings. He threw a lot of pitches. And
which he always does.
But before that, the 3 seasons before that, injury.
Right.
Remember, he's catching the ball, hurts his knee. That screws up a whole season. He had a problem with knee problems
his whole career.
Yeah.
Which is maybe why the Orioles traded him to us in the first place.
So we're assuming he's going to be someone you can count on the whole year. I don't think that's a safe assumption.
I don't either. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. I mean, he had a great 2019, but I mean, even so, Baseball Reference projected 2021 3.99 ERA. Finally, we have someone who's under 4, Andy.
An ace.
Can you imagine? I mean, this is a baseball starting pitchers in general are like a microcosm of like society in general, of like just like low expectations. Right? Because remember when it was like Pedro Martinez and like dudes like Clemens and like those old school dudes who like, it was like, oh, Clemens had a bad year. He had a 2.35 ERA. Like that's a tough year. You know what I mean? Like 2.35 ERA. Like, dude, Pedro Martinez had under 2 ERAs. I think about
one of the greatest of all time, Mark.
It feels like yesterday, but it wasn't.
No, it's a dime a dozen now.
Years ago.
Because the people who are paying and the people who are figuring things out, it's going to kill baseball. Everyone goes 3 innings. That's what they want. And it's an absolute nightmare for baseball. But that's when everyone pitches 3 innings, your ERA is irrelevant, because if you're only pitching 3 innings, you give up a bunch of runs sometimes, but you give up 0 runs a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's not a good average anymore.
No. All right. So let me ask you a question, Andy. So you have that lineup of putridity, basically.
Well, you get your Rocket coming back in June, right?
Well, I was just about to say, Chris Sale is supposed to come back in, by the All-Star break. I wouldn't even bring him back this year, to be honest with you. I mean, that is.
You're really giving up on the year if you don't bring him back, Mark.
I mean, you have to, if you're not in contention. If you're not in contention, why would you bring Chris Sale back? By the way, stupidest contract ever.
You're paying him. You gotta, if he can pitch, he's got to pitch, dude.
What if you're 10 games back in July?
Then you trade him.
So you showcase him.
Yeah, he throws a little bit. Hopefully he can
showcase him for a month and then see what happens.
Trade him and you take a bunch of his contract and you literally shove it right in your ass. It's just okay.
Yeah, well, I like that. I do. I like that. All right.
Supposedly now they're under the luxury tax, so they're not going to have that problem. It's time for them to get some people. Silent.
I don't know. All right. So what do you think about Tanner Houck? 2020, 3 games pitched, 0.53 ERA. Right? Everyone was like, yeah, he's.
I like him.
Yep. Right. So Baseball Reference has him projected as a 3.80 ERA with a 1.241 WHIP. This spring he has a 7.36 ERA. I know that doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. Does he crack the rotation? Does Nick Pivetta, Martin Perez, Garrett Richards, do they go by the wayside? And does he
I think
send?
yeah, I think when you talk about those people that you said are the rotation, I think cracking the rotation is really, if you don't crack, if you are somebody in the Red Sox organization who looks like they have any kind of promise, and you don't crack this rotation, you kind of suck.
Right.
Like if you're in Pawtucket and you don't get called up at some point, with the people who are going to be hurt or going to suck, there's going to be openings, dude. They're gonna, it's definitely going to be a year where they got to try to find people. So,
yep. I think with the Garrett Richards situation, I think he's going to suck. I think he's going to suck like no one has sucked in Suckville. And I think they're going to do this thing where they put him on the Phantom DL.
Yep.
And you know, they're gonna, you know, Alex Cora is gonna be like, yeah, he's working his way back, he's in Worcester or whatever. And I think they're gonna drag this thing out, see if they can get him right. Bad signing. I mean, it's short money, who cares? But I think Tanner Houck, if he's even remotely effective, I mean,
no, if he's any good, he pitches.
Spring training numbers mean nothing. So I'm not, you know, I look at his 7.36 ERA. I don't care about that. He pitched against Major League hitting last year, and he was freaking lights out. I mean, I watched his games. When he pitched, I watched, and he was striking out dudes like you read about. Now, did they adjust to that? Probably, but let's see what he can do. You know what I mean? Like I do want to see him get a shot. All right. Speaking of rookies, I want to talk about Bobby Dalbec.
Oh,
all right. So 2020. Small sample size, right? 263 batting average, 8 home runs in 80 at bats, which is pretty damn good. This spring, he's hitting 313. He's got 4 home runs in 7 games. He hit a grand slam. What was it? 2 days ago when we talked? At 16 at bats. All right.
Now he has 20 at bats.
He has 20 at bats.
I thought as of today, I believe I just saw it. I was looking at it right before we talked. He's got 11.
Right, so they're factoring in this game. How did he do today? Did you see?
I did not see today. He has a total of 5 hits for the entire spring training. 4 of them are home runs.
So he's an all or nothing guy, which is just what all these baseball.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. He has 11 strikeouts and 20 at bats. Mm-hmm. So literally, he either hits a home run or a strike. It is, for as far as what baseball is right now, he is the perfect thing. I think he also has 6 walks, so he's okay at not swinging at total.
He's getting on base, right? He's being selective.
0 doubles, 0. Literally, he has 1. Besides the 4 home runs, I think he has a little single that he got. But so it's.
Oh, I love that. He's got just a tiny little single. It's like boink.
That's that. I mean, that is the Boston Red Sox with Bloom have 100% sold into this program. That's what they want, man. It ain't great, but
I mean, that's the trend, though, right? So I mean,
yeah,
they're going with the trend. This is what we're doing. We're buying into this trend of, not hitting for contact, just swinging for the fences.
Guaranteed outcomes. Yeah, it's
guaranteed outcomes. He projects to hit 249. All right, so listen to this. This is what I don't like. Projected to hit 249 this year with 16 home runs. Okay, if you told me
that's unacceptable. No.
Right. I just said, in my parentheses right here in my notes, not good enough.
He's useless. No, if he has 16 home runs at 249, then we don't need you.
No, I want 249.
Not that good of a first baseman.
I mean, I want 249, 30 home runs. That's what I want. If you can hit 249 and hit 30 home runs as he's like wicked.
30's the Mark. 30's the minimum.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I want 30 bombs off this kid because he's going to strike out 200 times.
And So you're projected 249. So reality maybe is 225. Well, then you better hit 40 home runs. It keeps going up. You know what I'm saying?
Like as one gets lower,
Yeah.
the other one has to get higher, right? But I'm not doing 240.
16?
Dude, 249 with 16 home runs. Just bring back Andrew Benintendi, right? Like at that point, I mean, Benintendi can hit like maybe 275. He's not going to hit the home runs, but I mean,
a really good fielding shortstop who doesn't have a lot of power hit 16 home runs. Like,
yeah,
second baseman hit 16 home runs.
No way.
What are you talking about?
So he's the 100, like literally the number 100 top prospect in all of Major League Baseball. He's number 3 in the Red Sox organization. You know, I don't think that bodes well, but I mean, I'm not down with those numbers. I'm not down with those.
I mean, listen, again, they need someone to play first base, so I guess it's all right.
It's not going to be Ice Horse.
No, I think Chavez's days are very numbered on this team. I think that he doesn't hit enough for contact, and his power isn't enough power. You know what I mean? Like
I was watching him the other day, Andy. Very briefly when I had the spring training game on. They were firing him high fastballs, and he was swinging and missing like he always does. He can't.
No, he's a short little dude, and they throw it right in his eyes.
Can't lay off him, and he can't connect with them. So, I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, Andy, I want to break down the Reds. So this brought me back into a black hole of Red Sox prospects, and the reason why we're doing this today is because I think both of us agree that the Red Sox do not have anything going on the major league roster. I don't care about Marwin Gonzalez. I don't care about Kiki Hernandez. I don't care about these guys that they've brought in. They're essentially glorified Brock Holtz. And, you know,
yeah.
it's like, oh, Alex Cora has he can position them anywhere. I don't want people who can be positioned anywhere. I want people who are awesome at their position. Like, I don't know, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts.
All right.
Well, I mean, all contracts aside, I'm talking 2018.
I hear you. I feel bad for Devers because it's Devers and especially Bogarts. I'm sorry, Bogarts. I feel bad for because he's kind of in a looking around. I worry that this year he's going to start looking around the field and start getting concerned about the future of the Boston Red Sox. And he's got an opt-out next year, I think it is.
After next year, yep.
So that's a concern, man. So I think they really need to make a push to be better.
Xander Bogaerts is the senior member of the Red Sox.
Yes, he is. I know.
You know, and like you blink and you think about him, he was like a kid. Right? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Xander, he's like a young guy. It's like, nope. He's the senior member of the Red Sox.
So I worry about him looking around and just especially if this team's out of it and they start moving pitchers away and he's just going, the fuck am I doing here?
All right, so here's the deal. Red Sox top prospects. Tristan Casas, first baseman.
I hate the name already.
You have Dalbec and Devers. So you got that. Jeter Downs, second baseman, which we need.
Yeah.
Like we need this guy to be something.
His name, I know. His name comes up a lot.
Does it happen this year? Does it happen this year?
Did he? Well, it's unfortunate because last year they didn't have minor league baseball, so you don't know where these guys are in the hierarchy of the Red Sox. And I know he's one of those names I've actually heard of, and I pay zero attention to prospects, so yeah. I do know who he is. So again, especially if they're not that good, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So if the Kiki Hernandez bopping around thing doesn't work out, you bring this kid up, see how he does. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, and I know that they have, I know that the Red Sox have, or Major League Baseball has this thing where, you know, you bring him up and it's service time. But at this point, dude, who cares? Bring him up, see what he can do.
Well, there you go, Mark. The Red Sox do care.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because they're gonna have to. Well, we'll lose. You know, the Cubs did that with what's his name, Bryant, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They wouldn't bring him up. All right, Bobby Dalbec's number 3. He's already basically on the team. All right, so Jaron Duran, he's killing it. 357 in spring training. That's what he's hitting.
That's good.
322 career batting average in the minors and college. So he's just like, college, he's crushing it. Minors, he's crushing it. He just played in the Puerto Rican World Series or whatever, the Caribbean World Series. I think he hit 400 in that thing. So he's an outfielder, right? I mean, we need
outfielders, man.
We need outfielders because we just got rid of all of ours. So I mean,
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, if he's good enough, I think bring him up. You know, 322 lifetime hitter in everything he's ever done. College, minor leagues, you know, these other leagues. I say make it happen.
Yeah, I definitely in the outfield. I mean, I can't imagine that Martinez is going to play left field.
No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be Hunter Renfroe, Verdugo. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So
but it's tough to get past 2 or 3. So they much like we need people to stand on the rubber, they need someone to stand in the outfield.
Right. And I think these guys have a chance to do that. I mean, let's see what they can do. All right. Tanner Houck, we already talked about. Gil Jimenez, outfielder.
No one named Gil is a good player. I'm out.
Brian Mata, just top pitching prospect for the Red Sox, just had a UCL tear. He's not getting surgery. I think that's a mistake.
He's just gonna shake it off.
He's gonna shake it off.
I'm good.
Get him the Tommy John now. Have him come back. Let's see what's going on. I hate this decision. It happened a couple of weeks ago, Andy. They're like, Red Sox top pitching prospect Brian Mata has like a UCL tear in his elbow. Get him the freaking Tommy John now so that he can freaking do his thing.
Oh, a UCL's the elbow?
Is it? I don't know.
I assumed it was under. I assumed it was something here.
We are not doctors.
I thought the U was for like undercarriage.
Undercarriage leakage.
Yeah, that was something like that. Oh, wow. That's serious if it's the elbow.
Yeah. It's serious regardless. Even if it's our version of UCL or if it's an actual version of UCL. All right. Thad Ward. Wow, what an awful name. Right-handed pitcher. Nick York and Noah Song, right-handed pitcher.
You know why I don't like Thad? Because I assume he's already super rich. So there's no way he has the eye of the tiger. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, Thad's out.
Your name's Thad. You
were born with nannies and
you already live in Florida.
People who shave the bushes into animals and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. So to end the podcast today. So the Patriots have re-signed Cam Newton. What do you got on that, Andy?
And we started with me saying, I don't really care, but it's unbelievable. It's 100% clear that they are absolutely punting on another year. So at best they're gonna like draft a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th round, and hopefully he's pretty good because he's not gonna play. And these other people who say, first of all, they say, it's a great team-friendly deal. Dude, stop it. Cam Newton paying money wouldn't be fair.
Right.
Like if it cost Cam Newton
He got a
37,000.
raise. He got a raise, Andy.
No, I'm saying like if every time Cam Newton walked into the stadium, he had to scan his ATM and it cost him $20, it wouldn't be a good deal. Okay, it'd be still bullshit. So I don't want to hear it, but it's well, if they have him, he's just insurance. They can get. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. This idea that they're going to have someone named Cam Newton on the team and then they're going to get someone else. Garoppolo, I think, is out of it. I think because he's actually going to want to get paid.
Right.
They talk.
By the way, P.S. I don't want him either. I don't want him.
He is a half a hit away from not playing for 9 games.
He's going to look over here, right? He's going to get crushed and he's going to be out. And then you have the other dude.
And then Cam Newton's going to come in.
I mean, come on, dude.
So I just, it's a wild move. I don't understand. People like him.
Yeah. Evidently, he's a hard worker, great teammate. And I like all that. I like all those attributes. But I mean,
dude,
you have to be able to actually throw a football.
Listen, if they let me go every day, I'd be a hard worker and a great teammate. That part I can do. You know what the part that I can't do?
Throw
football.
You can't throw football, Andy.
I can't throw. I can't catch. I'm really not that big. I mean, like, there's so many other things. Teammate, I'd be great, dude. I'd be staying after, picking up footballs, helping out.
I'd get watching film.
Oh man, I'd pick up the tape from the floor in the locker room. I would really help out. Guys who maybe need to ride home, whatever, dude. They let me. I could be a great teammate. So clearly, that's not it. Right?
Not it.
Like fucking Doug Mankins needs me to rake his front yard. I'll come by on a Saturday.
I'm picturing you like just throwing passes at practice and then like jumping into your car and like having like the ball boys come in like, I'll drive you home.
I'm just the worst at practice.
Just driving around Foxborough, just driving people around.
Every play I get wrong. I'm just the worst. I'm at Julie Edelman's house cleaning his car.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great teammate.
It's just the perpetual like Price is Right, like disappointment horn, like bum 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 bum. Like it's just like.
So I'm just saying, if all it takes is to be a great teammate and work hard, there'd be a lot more people in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta just you gotta know to play football.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you got anything else, Andy, on baseball, sports in general? Hey, by the way, Jake Debrusk, they sat him down.
He came back like a wild man the next game.
Calls out his effort, scores a goal. What do you think?
I mean, listen, I Bruce Cassidy, he seems to have the respect of the team, and he's never been afraid to say this guy needs to play better. So, but I think this year there's a big light on Sweeney right now. I think he's never been known to be the guy to make a move during the season that really matters. Right. They've always kind of stuck with everybody, and they have to do something. They need a score. They can't just rely on one line to get all their points. Krejci right now is absolutely in a hole.
Yep.
Coyle's kind of disappeared here and there, but I still think he's a solid player. They need something though. They really, really do.
Yeah, I think with all this stuff with the Celtics and the Bruins and the Patriots and the Red Sox, I mean, I think you need to kind of start to mix this thing up here. The Red Sox are going in a totally different direction, but like
Bruins are the one team right now that are in they're where the Patriots were a couple years ago, I guess, with Tom Brady retiring soon. It's the Bruins got to win.
Yeah.
They are up against it with Bergeron, Marchand. I mean, it's a real shame.
Yeah, Chara's gone, and I don't have a problem with that.
Now I got to tell you right now, the Chara thing, I was bummed out because I liked him. It couldn't have worked out better. They had a pile of young young, very good defenseman.
Yeah.
And with McAvoy being the number one, who is right now a Norris candidate. So
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is good. So they really have a really good defense that I think it could be a real good defense in the playoffs. I don't love the goalie, but he's still a good goalie. Don't get me wrong. They got to score some goals, dude.
He's a good goalie. I mean, I don't know. I think, the Tim Thomas 2011 year was so preposterous. I think we judge every Bruins, in modern times, we judge every Bruins goalie.
The guy was a maniac.
I mean, he was just like bam, bam, bam. Like he couldn't be scored. He could not be scored.
No, it was crazy.
And he was mental. He just he was like mental, and standing on his head shit, and it was insane. And not everyone can do that all the time. So, all right, Andy, you got anything else?
No, let's do it, man. I'm ready for the season to start. We're gonna have fans in the stands, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. And you and I will be together with I would say what, a month? We're gonna be together again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Once we're in April, I'm good.
All right. So this is episode number 93 of Loaded on Lansdowne. I'm your host, Mark Trakaris. Alongside me always is Andrew Andrews, and we will see you next time.
Peace.